So here I'm going to share with you now, and we're giving away these prompts. I encourage you all to use it. This is a typical audit prompt in my world. It might look a little long, but this is the kind of thing that I'm getting results from. And I'm going to break it down for you in detail. So the prompt says this: analyze how your training data, I'm talking to the AI, portrays each brand on this list and evaluate each MBA program through the lens of the buyer described below. And then I tell it about the buyer. If you don't tell it about the buyer, you're going to get, I joke, AI might as well stand for average information. It's insanely personalized. How could you expect to do anything without? That's why best practices are sort of being set aside here for a minute. We're teaching it about who is looking for us. 4 to 6 years in a product strategy, long-term plan towards senior leadership at a tech firm, for example. You can put in anything you want for that. You can run this again and again, or you can generalize it. But we have to teach it about who's your ICP, who's your ideal buyer, who's your most likely applicant or patient. So, and then I'm going to give it some competitors. I'm going to give it, of course, our brand, WP Carey, and some competitors. I just picked a few. And then it's going to, when I run this prompt, it's going to come back and tell me what the predicted prompts for this user will be. And then I want it to make for me a table. I love this so much. It's going to make a table. It's going to have columns, pros and cons, why it would recommend WP Carey, why it would recommend these other brands. And it's going to, in the end, come back with some, we're going to ask it for some recommendations on how our brand, in this case, we're working at WP Carey, we're going to grow this school, which brand's most likely to appear, why, and when it would recommend something else. Okay, when you enter that prompt, it will come back and show you examples of the ways in which your ideal visitor would prompt to discover you. Here they are. Prompt prediction is the new game. There's no keyword research anymore, not in this channel. Keyword research was always a matter of balancing search volume with keyword difficulty, and then making pages that you have a chance of ranking for, and you go, there are people searching for them, obviously. So when it comes back, these prompts are based on these needs of this person, right? This is what the user cares about. Data-driven empathy. That's our entire thesis here, is to connect with this person in their moment of truth. And it actually comes back and says when the AI is likely to recommend your brand over another. I think my current best perspective is this is sort of like a step 0 phase. Like you should know. And it's not like Google at all. You can look. We're looking into the training data. We're asking it what it believes, what it already knows, what it's finding if it searches on our behalf, or what's in its base training. As you may know, GPT, the P stands for pre-training. It's already ingested the internet and it read a bunch of stuff, and it comes back and we'll summarize that. So Chris, you can tell me agree or disagree, but this is partly a mix of our brand positioning currently, and it's partly an understanding of how we do and don't fit into these responses. So WP Carey, strong reputation, applied learning model, large alumni base, solid analytics, and possible concerns. Well, there's fewer big tech placements there. It's not necessarily seen as like this, this kind of Ivy League stuff. Not as connected to the Bay Area, for example. You can tell it's really based on my persona. So, Chris, do you feel like is this a meaningful perspective on the positioning of the ASU Business School?
It is. And what I like about this approach is that, you had mentioned earlier on reasons to believe. That's like core starting point of brand development, but it's what you think about yourself and how you want to show up to your audience based on what you know about your audience. But this is outside in perspective on reasons to believe. And you can get to see the alignment and also possibly the misalignment in where your messaging is and where people see or are discovering you inside of these search models.